UCF men's soccer head coach Scott Calabrese. Coach, good to see you again. It's been a while. How are you and your family during all of this COVID-19?
Good to see you too. We've been great actually. Spent a lot of time at home during this period, and spent a lot of time with the kids. We homeschooled the kids. Everyone's healthy. Everybody's thriving. So no, the family's great. Thank you.
And what about your family of UCF men's soccer players? It has been a while since you guys have been out playing meaningful games.
Yeah, it's been and someone had to give me this figure, but 15 months since our last game that counted. So um, it has been a really long time, and we're about a little bit more than 24 hours away from playing our first counting game. And the guys are great. They're really excited. It's obviously been a really long and uncertain period for the players. I think that was a very difficult time for them. Um, but we are really excited to have that opportunity and really thankful to have the opportunity to play.
What do you think of the way the schedule is set up now? Home matches, home and away, once a week, not the grind of twice a week, and certainly it looks like at this point no out of conference games. What do you make of your schedule and the league in general?
So this schedule actually aligns pretty closely to the 21st century model, which is something that a lot of the college soccer coaches have been asking to move towards, and that is one game a week, and that gives you the right amount of preparation, the right amount of rest and recovery between games, and really gives you a chance to produce a high level performance. And it gives you a chance to do it every week, and it gives you a chance to avoid injury and fatigue during those games. So in terms of the structure of it, it's really exciting, and it's now the dry run of this 21st century model in a way. And so that is really encouraging. Then who we're playing, with it being the conference, is also pretty exciting, given the fact that now every game there's 3 points, and every game we play is consequential towards you moving in the direction of a championship. All of the conference games are incredibly competitive, and our conference last fall, which is now quite a long time ago, so it's not this last fall, but fall before, nearly every team in our conference was in the top 30, 40 teams in the country. And our conference overall, when you looked at the ranking, we were second or third in RPI in that year. And so our conference is incredibly competitive. And so these games are going to require us to be at our absolute best.
And now the exposure of the ESPN family of networks, games on ESPN Plus, you're going to have your product exposed, and UCF fans as well, soccer fans, be able to see you from anywhere.
No, and that's really exciting. And I think just being on that platform, and so many people now having access to that, I'm a little biased, but I think we play an entertaining style of soccer. I think we're exciting to watch. It's one of the things we try to do is to play in that way. So I think it's great for our program. I think it's great for the athletic department. It's great for our players individually to have that platform to be seen and appreciated by fans, by their families. Because we have quite a few international players as well, where now they're going to be able to tune in and watch. So I think it's really exciting for everybody.
Rivalries can form geographically or certainly through the heat of competition. It is safe to say UCF and SMU, and the way they have tangled the last couple of seasons, this has developed into a rivalry. As much as projections matter, SMU projected first in the American. Is there still that bad taste of a loss in the NCAA tournament to them, and as a little motivation for your players, knowing that SMU, they've got a good program?
Yeah, I mean, SMU has been a worthy rival. And I think that's they have pushed us to our limits. And when we play SMU, we see where we need to get better. And so it's in our players' minds that game is significant and gets circled on the calendar as a big game for us. And now we get them twice. So it now there is a bad taste in our mouth from losing to them. We lost to them in uh, several finals. We ended up playing them in finals, and then we lost to them in the 16. So um, that's a game of every game's important moving towards your championship, and every game is going to be a difficult game. But I think that game always has a little extra right now. And to be honest, right now SMU has won that battle, and so that's important.
You go into this season without Cal Jennings. Reflect on him as a player, the joy of being able to coach someone like him, and the pride that you must have in seeing him continue to play at the professional level.
Yeah, I Cal was an unbelievable kid to coach, and it started with who he was as a person. And when you, if anyone who's watched interviews, if you don't know him personally, like he's just such an authentic person, and he's so caring. And when he answers interview questions, he's just giving away credit. He can't say enough about his teammates. He can't say enough about his team, his coach, his UCF. And the thing is, that's all completely genuine. That's who he is. It's not media coached. It is 100% who he is. And so that was to have a player who is an example to the other players in terms of how he conducted himself um, in the locker room, off the field. What an amazing teammate he was. It is of zero surprise to me that he has been incredibly successful when he went to Memphis. Had a really difficult time in his transition to the pro game because he was drafted by Dallas, and Dallas held him to the very end before letting him go. And in that moment, he did not have a lot of options. So he took an option with Memphis, and I want to say in his last 7 games had 9 goals, um, and signed with Indy 11 because they saw the incredible potential that he has. So I've never watched more USL soccer than last year when Johnny Dean and Cal Jennings were playing and making a big impact in the USL. I think I watched every game I could.
Anyone who has watched UCF men's soccer since you've been a part of UCF speaks of the offense, and it's an exciting brand of soccer to watch. Now, without a Cal Jennings, what do you think going into this season? What will your offense look like if everything's going as you have planned?
Well, not much changes in terms of how we move the ball from the back and through the midfield, and then the chances that we're going to create. I think what will have to change is that I think more people will have to be on the end of those chances. Different, obviously different from Hill now, but maybe not whoever ends up playing in the 9 position. Will probably be a couple different people. We'll want them to score goals, but then we'll need some of our wingers to score goals. We need more goals from our attacking midfield players. Maybe some goals from outside backs, and I think our team is capable of this. Uh, and we're training in a way that hopefully continues to promote this. But we'll need other players to chip in, and then we'll need some new guys to step up. And um, the one thing that we're always trying to do is create chances and be aggressive and to play in the other team's half. So none of that will change. It's just we know Cal's going to tuck it away. We're going to have somebody else create the final product.
Which means, of course, you don't necessarily need someone to kick as many goals as Cal. Maybe a more even distribution, seeing some people step up with a few more each.
Yeah, 100% that's the case. And I think we have players who were great last year. You have Gino, who had some big goals. He continues to get better. Mauricio Villalobos, an attacking midfield player who continues to get better, continues to improve in the final third. You know, you have Jonas Schmalbach, who's been really really good. You know, I think during this period of COVID, we were training, and there were some players that even during this period you could see real growth, despite not having the matches to play. And I think Jonas was one of those players. Mauricio was one of those players. A young man, Andrew Lazinas, who was not playing last season, but who was here, has really developed during this period of time. I'm excited to see what he can do, and he's a player that has an eye for a final pass and can score goals. Hata Buberi's back, and so can Hata contribute and contribute more in production. So I think we have players that can do it, and now they're going to have a chance. They're going to have to do it.
Defensively, it must make you and your staff and the players feel pretty good to know that you have the AAC preseason goalkeeper of the year minding the net. That helps you when you're on that side of the ball, certainly.
For sure, for sure. And I think Yannick is Yannick's a leader. Yannick has a presence. Yannick helps us keep the ball, which on one side of that is if we have the ball and the other team doesn't, they're not scoring. Um, but Yannick can make big saves, and has proven time and time again that he can come up big. And I would say Yannick is an individual who, during COVID, was really performing at a high level in training, in a level maybe I haven't seen before. And I think if we can get him back to that level in this spring season, um, he's really difficult to beat. Really difficult to beat.
Does the way your team approaches the ball offensively sometimes leave you vulnerable defensively?
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we have is if we execute well on how we play, that means we're playing in our opponent's half, and there's big spaces behind us that other teams get to attack into. So that tends to be easier to play in bigger spaces, and we're attacking in small spaces and in really tight spaces. And so as we build up, one of the big things that we have to do is we have to insulate ourselves against the counterattack. And one of the problems is the more dominant you can become in a game, the more possession you have, the more you play in the other team's half. It almost invites you to keep coming forward with players out of the back. And if you are not ready for the moment the ball turns over, that is the biggest threat. And if you just react to the counterattack and you haven't prepared for the counterattack, it's too late.
With the success the team has had the last couple of seasons, certainly, how has it changed your job in terms of recruiting, the enhancement of the brand, the overall UCF brand, but as well the men's soccer brand? This is a postseason tournament, deep postseason tournament program now. How has it changed your job from a recruiting standpoint?
Well, I think I think all good players want to be part of something special. Um, I think the success in terms of outcomes shows that there's something going on. There's a famous quote like "success leaves clues," um, and the clues are that we've won a lot, and so I think we have always recruited at a high level, which is how in part we've gotten to where we are. But now the thing that is exciting, I think, is that we always start with our backyard, and we always start with Orlando. And whether that's the Orlando City organization or whether it's local clubs around us, and then we kind of move out from there. And I think now there's more interest, there's more belief from local and regional talent in terms of what we are. There's more of an understanding of how we play. There's when you have these national rankings and you have championships, that catches the attention of some higher level players. And so we have always recruited them, but now hopefully, and I think we are finding this, now we're a much more interesting option, because really good players are always going to have options. And now we're trying to show how compelling we can be in their development.
We see the challenge that college football has with the limited number of teams and the way they select their playoff teams and that path to a national championship.
Yeah.
Your program, though, it could be in position to win a national championship. That's where the quality level is now, and the opportunity and the pathway is there for a national championship in men's soccer at UCF.
I, I'll say we you have that as I don't know if I'd call it a goal, but we talk all the time that there's literally no limits to what our team is capable of, and that I'm not putting a cap on what can be achieved. Um, and I think the players know that, and the players believe that, and that's important. They see how good we can be, and we feel it's really on us to produce the environment, and that's the players, that's the coaches, produce the environment where we keep getting better, and focus on the process of becoming great, and becoming great in every way, and growing a culture within our team that can deal with adversity, because on the path to any great achievement that we might have, there's going to be moments, whether it's moments within a game or a game that we lose that we shouldn't lose, whether it's a goal we concede, and how we deal with that's going to define a lot about our season. And so it's we have goals, but we don't focus on them. We really focus on how we get better every single year, and every single day, and every single season. We want to keep progressing, and I think if we focus on that, we're going to find ourselves in a position to compete for big things.
And I'll wrap up with this. All that's going on in the world, all the delays for you and your student athletes getting back out onto the pitch. How much excitement do you have personally just to get going again, and do what you love so much, and not just be on the other side of a Zoom box, but be actually out there in a meaningful way, instructing and giving coaching to these student athletes and doing what you love?
So I feel two things. I feel, and I think it's really important, I say is I'm so grateful for the administration. I'm so grateful for our medical team. I'm so grateful for all the people who have worked for 15 months or however long this is going on to put us in a position where we actually get to do this, because there was such uncertainty and such a difficult time for the players and for the coaches, and now people have really put in some work to put us in this position. So for one, that's the first thing I think and feel. Second is I love being out there. I love being with the guys. I love connecting with that group, and I love that we get to do what we're meant to do, that we're able to keep moving towards our potential, and just seeing a smile on our players' faces again, because there was some months where there weren't a whole lot of smiles within our group, but to see the joy, to pick a word, to see the joy in our players now that we are at this point is amazing.
Scott Calabrese, UCF head coach, men's soccer. Thanks for joining us with the Sons of UCF, and good luck this spring season.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.